Aries, welcome to your end of May current energy reading. The energy has been pretty wild this week. I don't know, just kind of weird. Not necessarily bad, but just, I gotta say weird. I don't know. So let's jump right in and do take a look at the playlist to see if you have additional messages. Time and energy is fluid, not linear. Let's see what we have for you. All right. Oh, truth. Okay, look at that. And it feels like justice. We have the scales there. It could be also with the scales, I get a Six of Pentacles feel, knowing your value. Yeah, but definitely truth and justice. The truth, when it comes to the justice card, is the universe knows the truth of every situation, every matter, everything that happens, right? And that's where karma comes into play. So we have creation. Remember, your thoughts shape your future. Your words create today, and your choices become your reality. Wow. Yeah. There you go. So we have this blue truth, throat chakra, and yellow is a card of communication. And so you communicate with the universe your truth with your thoughts and with your words and your choices. So let's get the last one. Oh boy, I feel like there's going to be another intense reading. Here we go. Can't believe it's almost June. Oh, we have 44. Woman holding a heart. That gives me a Queen of Cups feel. All right, let's get some bonus cards for you. Oh my gosh. So we were at the store the other day and we saw the Monopoly Harry Potter. And my son wanted it so bad. I was like, well, let me see if I have. I knew I had some credits on my Amazon account. And so instead of paying $34 for it, which is not a big deal, I got it for $6. And so we played it last night and it was so much fun. So when we did the Howlers, well, I did the Howlers. I did it perfectly, just like Mrs. Weasley. He had to put his hands over his ears. I was like, you better plug those ears because here we go. I love getting in a character. That was fun. All right, so recent past, let's see what we have. Oh, there we have it. Look, Libra, Queen of Swords. Right there with the truth. Hey, we're starting out. We're in the zone. What? Six of Pentacles? You guys, all this week, sorry, I just hit the mic. I'm getting too animated. All this week, I've been um, intuitively feeling these cards and what they represent. And I mean, I think that's pretty self explanatory to me, but the fact that they're coming up in the reading is pretty amazing. And now we have the Hierophant. That's a Taurus energy for the month of May. Wow. But that's just confirmation that the energies are coming through, and this is a message, a divine message from the universe, from spirit, because there's no such thing as a coincidence. Oh, no, no, no. It's that justice card. Oh my, Six of Pentacles again. And it popped out. All right, so that truth right there, that card is hitting heavy in this recent past. Some of you may not have experienced it yet. I know that sounds weird. And now, look at that. Seven of Swords. Ooh-wee. And the Page of Pentacles. Oh my. All right. Let's dig into this. I don't know what's going on. It's still really early. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. So we have the Queen of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. The Truth card here, right there, is signifying that now is the time for you to get in touch with the truth of your soul, the truth of your mission here, just your truth, and speak it, verbalize it. We have this creation here, shape your future, your words create today. And so your words and your truth right now, and it also says speak from your heart, woman holding a heart. So these three are all connected. So there could be a situation, maybe in your recent past and maybe still ongoing, where you might be holding back because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, so you're not really telling them the truth. You may not be speaking up on something that you believe in for fear, of being judged or something like that. But the Queen of Swords here, she will speak her truth. You know, um, so we have this woman holding a heart, but we also have the Queen of Swords. So I think what this is asking you to do is to be honest and truthful while also being compassionate. You don't have to be blunt. You don't have to be, um, you know, too harsh, too critical, but it is saying to state your truth in some matter. You know, the Queen of Swords, she will cut people out of her life if she needs to, or situations. Whether or not you decide you want to tell someone why you're leaving a situation is up to you. I'm going to say this. If you've already made up your mind about something and there's nothing to be done about the situation, it's broken, it's not going to, cannot be fixed. Sometimes it's better to just walk away, because continuing to engage with a person with something that's just not fixable, it's just a round and round, cycle. So sometimes it's better to just go. This can be a card of cycles as well. The Six of Pentacles, this is about equal reciprocity, equal give and take. And there's some kind of truth here. This is related to this right here, your truth. It has to do with what you're giving others, what you're telling others, because your truth and your words, it's part of your resources, I think, because it does affect what you get and what you have. So there's a very deep meaning here for you, Aries. And, your sign, you're very, I feel the Aries that I have known, they are so talkative that you can't even hardly get a word in edgewise, they're very, so it may be that um, if you're talking, I want to say too much, but it's not as meaningful as it could be. It can sometimes just be noise. Do your words have value, or are they just kind of empty air, filling the space, filling the void? So I think this is talking about being truthful and honest regarding situations like this, regarding things where maybe you feel like you've given a lot to a situation, you're not getting anything back. If you don't speak up and tell someone about how you're feeling, you're going to start being resentful. You might start, doing things in a negative way, and the other person might be completely oblivious, but they may not. I don't know. So there needs to be some kind of honest communication here. This was in the past energy, but I get the feeling it's still affecting you now, because if you were unable to be truthful in these situations in the past, what has made it any different to where you can be open and honest and truthful now? So we have the Six of Pentacles again, same deal, equal give and take, reciprocity, your value, your truth, but it's crossed by the Seven of Swords. I get the feeling that this is non-communication here. This is sneaking away. Now, I did say that if some situations are not working out, sometimes it's best to sneak away. He is disarming the enemy so they can't use those swords against him. It could be that, if you are dealing with toxic people, you might just want to slip away in the night and just be done with it. And that's okay. But it just depends on how this energy is being used. If it's used deceptively, then we all know that's bad. If you're dealing with these kind of people, are they taking from you and not giving? So I'm not sure how this is manifesting in your life, because I'm getting a secret keeping feeling with this, something you're not sharing with others. Now, sometimes that's okay. I'm not sure which side of the fence you're on here, Aries. We might get more information as we go, but this situation will change depending on your situation. But at first glance, it's not all that great. Something is being kept a secret. Something's not equal. Something is hidden. All right. So now we have, look at this. This to me feels like the beginning of a new journey, a new stage of learning. Because what we have here, we see these children here at the base of this Hierophant who really is a teacher, teaching morals, teaching ethics, passing things on to the next generation. He's the master. And so they are the little Padawans, and then we have this young energy crossing it. So I feel like you either you have children and you're passing on your knowledge to them, you know, or you're starting something new, a new course of study, because we have this Pentacles here, the Page of Pentacles. So it could be a new course of study where you are learning something. So that's pretty much all I'm getting from those two cards right there. And so let's keep going and see what's going on here, because these four cards right there are very, very important to this reading. And if you're getting a different message and you know exactly what these cards are saying, then that's your message, okay? That is Spirit talking directly to you. Oh, now we have the Wounded Warrior, Sagittarius, Nine of Wands. I certainly hope my camera is focusing, doing the autofocus. All right, so we have two coming out together. I'm not sure if these need to be one crossing the other, or if I'm going to spread them out. It just depends on what I feel moved to do by Spirit. So let's see what we have. We have Three of Cups and the Judgment. I'm feeling this. This is what we're going to do. That's what I'm feeling right there. I feel like this is this Judgment Scorpio energy, and now we have Three of Cups over here. It's in the center here. It's a wake up call. It's a something is trying, Spirit's trying to get your attention some way, somehow. Oh, look at that. The Nine of Pentacles crossing the Nine of Wands. Another thing about, value, and now we have the Knight of Swords. Huh. That is Gemini energy. Let's see what's crossing the Three of Cups here. I find it hard to believe that you would be holding back your truth about something. And okay, Empress. Now we have another card of Taurus. You may have Taurus in your chart. We are still in May, so it's very common for that month's cards to come out during that month. It's because that energy is prevalent. All right. So the Wounded Warrior. Now this could be you or someone or a situation you're dealing with. These aren't court cards. These are cards of daily life, things that you're feeling. You may feel like a wounded warrior. You may have been through a lot in your life. And the Nine of Wands is about trying things, never giving up, really. The Wounded Warrior is a warrior. He's been through a lot of battles, he or she, doesn't matter. And there's more yet to come. It's the whole thing of life. It's a constant, I don't want to say it's a constant battle. It doesn't have to be a battle, but there's always more to do, and I like the Nine of Wands because, they've been toughened by their experiences. They're not easily, bowled over by things, and they stand their ground. It's beyond, it goes beyond the Seven of Wands, where you're just kind of more younger and you haven't really gone through as much as the Nine of Wands has. They still have inspiration. They're looking towards the future, planning in a way. What is their next move? If you think about soldiers on the battlefield, that's what they're doing. They're constantly trying to engage or figure out what the enemy is going to do next, how to cut them off at the pass, or whatever. So there's a lot of planning, I think, with the Nine of Wands, a lot of trying things. And if we think about the ingenuity that soldiers need in the battlefield, it's kind of almost like a MacGyver energy. And then that's being crossed by the Nine of Pentacles. That's Virgo. It's self-sufficiency. It's being able to support yourself with your own unique skills and talents, whatever you do for a living, however you make your resources. So this is a good card. This is saying that you're willing to do and try different things to have and treat yourself in a kind way, because this is another, it's a card of little luxuries. It's of treating yourself, so being kind to yourself. And we have another card here that references giving, because in the Nine of Pentacles, she keeps the majority for herself, but she is willing to share, but never, going to give everything away she's worked for. She's not going to do that. And sometimes we learn this the hard way, but this card is saying to pay attention to your pentacles, I think, and to be protective of them. Do not give too much to any situation, because that's part of that balance there and that truth. It could be that you are very generous and maybe you just give too much. And it could be because you just really love giving, but don't do it to the point where you're putting yourself in some kind of harm. So there's that energy there of be careful how much you give of yourself, of your resources. In the heart here, we have this judgment, this wake up call, waking up to spirit. And that would be that inner truth, because we have the Knight of Swords. It makes sense why this energy I felt was supposed to be here in the center, because this is crossing it now. The Knight of Swords is a fast, kind of reckless energy. It seems very fitting almost to have that Aries, Mars, energetic, impulsive, part of you be in the driver's seat here of this Knight of Swords. But this is the sword of truth right here, a sword of victory. And this is, although this can be a card of recklessness, I think this is saying to own your truth and, be brave with it. Because there's something here that you have been holding back. But there's going to be this epiphany, this aha moment, or some kind of universal event where you're just going to have to speak your truth. I don't know what that is for you. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be spoken to a person. This could all be internal, but it'll set you free. It will set you free on the inside when you finally accept the truth of yourself and your soul mission and just your situation. When you do that, I think you're going to feel more free. I think the people around you would be probably just happier too, knowing the truth, hopefully. I mean, I'm a Sagittarius. We are very blunt and we're honest to a fault. It's just, it never even occurs to me that a lie is something that I can do or should do. It just isn't part of my makeup, and I'm not saying it's part of yours, but there is this freedom that comes with being honest with yourself. If you've been living a life that someone else, like your parents or guardians, have wanted you to live, but it isn't really what you want to do, you're not in your truth. So I think once you find a way to express yourself truthfully, but caringly, you'll be happier, because the Three of Cups is happy, it's celebration, it's community, it's social. So you might be sharing your truth with a group. It might be social media, something like that, a blog, I don't know, something like that. And then that energy of the community and being social is being crossed by the Empress. This is Taurus energy. It's very motherly and caring. It's an earthly energy. And we kind of need that as fire signs. We need to be grounded, because our fiery energy, it's kind of explosive in a way. I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's hard to contain. We're just kind of up almost in the air. I don't know why I'm picturing a mushroom cloud. It doesn't have to be destructive. It's just fire, right? And so the earth kind of helps bring us back down to reality, and that's what we have here, this Empress energy, this fertile and abundant period in your life that is here. So you might be wanting children, you might already have children, or you might be giving birth to some kind of new idea or business. But that's the energy right here that is crossing the community thing. So there might be something you could be doing in connection with your community. I just heard Habitat for Humanity, or maybe volunteering, something that is community driven, something that benefits the community. All right. Let's see what's in the future energy. I don't get up till 6, but my cat was mewing at 5 o'clock this morning. Oh my gosh. So now we have 7 of Cups. That's a dreamy kind of card. Yeah, I wanted to stay dreaming. Wanted to stay asleep. Oh, interesting. Moon. It's Pisces energy. And the King of Swords. Okay, so now we have a divine pair, a divine couple. We have the Queen of Swords at the beginning and the King of Swords at the end. If this is not representing a divine counterpart for you, that this would say that you're coming into balance with your yin and yang energy, that male and female energy within you, which is perfect. I mean, because look, that's the first energy, and now it's the king over here. I mean, that looks good to me. So let's see what's crossing. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, yeah. Oh, 2 of Swords and Judgment. We have 2 Judgment cards here. So that is an important aspect here. Okay. The truth is such a main focus of this reading, Aries. Being truthful, being honest with yourself, and speaking it. That's what this reading is about. So we have the 7 of Cups. You know, 7s are a mysterious number. This could represent illusions, daydreams, fantasies, things like that. We can really get caught up in our head about, you know, the things that we fantasize about. That's a place where I can hang out like all day. But that, and it's also saying that you realize you have a lot of choices and options right now. We all do. You know, it's what do you put your efforts and energy towards? You know, if you're putting your effort and energy and time towards video games, just saying, most of you probably don't even play them, what is that going to get you? What is the consequence? What's the karma? What's the, you know, that justice feeling? What comes of that for you? Nothing really, except for entertainment. So what I'm feeling with these 2 cards in the future energy, well, a couple of things. You could be working on mastering something that was a dream, because we do have this right here, the Hierophant and the Page of Pentacles. That is starting something in the past. And now we come all the way up here where you are, I think you're motivated by the 9 of Pentacles. You may not be there yet, or you could be there, but this is steady work. This is, you know, this is a card of mastery, showing up every day, getting the job done. You know, you might be fantasizing and dreaming about, you know, some aspect of this work. It could have been prompted by what you do could have been fueled by some type of fantasy or dream. We have that here. You might, as you're working, you might get lost in a daydream. So, or maybe you're dreaming about work at night. Some people do that. It's it shows how much dedication you have to your work when, even when you're asleep, you can't escape it. It's on your mind. I was watching a video, I don't know, maybe it was Daily Dose of Internet or something like that. I don't know what it was. And this guy, he was either a nurse or EMT or something like that. And he was talking in his sleep and checking someone in, you know, like, and, you know, asking them about their vitals and where did they feel the pain or whatever it was. So he was still at work even in his dreams. That is wild. So it could be something like that right there. And now, Ooh, two cards of intuition popping up. And so we have the moon. The moon is about facing your fears, you know, and maybe that's part of this truth here. What what fears do you have? Actually looking at them, because the Two of Swords is not using their intuition to figure something out. They're just looking at the surface. This or that type of thinking is what we have here. Two options. That's it. We know there's tons more. We know there's plenty of options. But anytime you see that blindfold, I know I say this a bunch, yeah, it means use your intuition. And this is a spotlight. This is highlighting this these fears coming up to the surface, or some kind of exposure, right? Fearing people knowing your truth. Oh my God. Why would that be fearful? Is there something you're hiding? You know, this is about living your truth. It could be a gender thing. It could be a sexuality thing. It could be, you not wanting to be a part of the family business thing. I don't know. But there's something hidden deep within you here that you really are fearful about looking at and exposing and being truthful about. Oh my God, what is it? I can't help but wonder, what is it? But if you can just get it out of you, let's say, what if you always wanted to be a performer, but you've never told anybody, and you always just kept it to yourself? That energy becomes heavy, almost like, I think that could almost probably become some type of illness or stress for you, something that's not letting your energy and chi flow from you. So I think it's really important to let this out, as long as it's nothing negative or bad, but there's some aspect of you that you are keeping secret. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Now, if it was a bad habit or something terrible, it would make sense why you're trying to hide it from people and you don't want anybody to know. But you would want to tell people so you could actually get help. But if you don't want help, there you go. I'm not saying that's you, but there's something here that you're holding back from speaking. And that's clear right here. It's still here in your future energy. So we have the King of Swords and Judgment again. This King of Swords, it feels, oh my gosh, it's that lawyer, judge type energy. We don't have the Justice card here, but it's in that, it's kind of in that family. But the King of Swords is Aquarius energy. And if I think about Aquarius, the King of Swords, he can think of new ways to do things. He sees the big picture. He can see the whole thing and understand it as well, because this is, wisdom. We have air on air here. So that is part of that creative energy. Your thoughts shape your future. And your words create today. Your choices become your reality. So are you choosing here to have a second chance, to have like a rebirth? I think you're going to, from what this looks like, it looks like you're going to take this leap. I think there's a bit of trepidation here of not being sure about making this choice and being honest with these options and what you want to do. Something like that. But this is telling me that you're going to do it. You're going to take this moment to be honest, to let this transformation kind of happen here. Kind of giving yourself this opportunity. I feel like it's just going to keep coming up for you until you take it. This feels like the stepping stone that you need to get past, and then you can have other things will start falling into place for you. But until you do this, something is not may not manifest the way you want it to, and I just don't think you'll be happy until you're really truly honest about all this, whatever it is. Abracadabra with wings, fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. There's nothing really inherently bad about this reading other than the fact of you not being honest with yourself. Wish. It's still May and it's still a month of wishes being granted. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. This is all about your heart, your true heart's desire. What is it? You know, as long as you're not a psychopath or a narcissist, this is good to follow your heart's desire. Okay. I just want to put that out there. We have goldfish. Ooh, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. We definitely see the spiritual growth here. We have ring. A marriage will take place either romantic or business. Which one are you wanting? And then we have clubs. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. I almost feel like it's you holding back. That's what I feel. I feel like your will is going to win and you're going to tell the truth about whatever this is. You're going to come clean. Oh my goodness, Aries. What was this about? It's a general reading. Wow. But it's a very intense energy. Oh, look at this. We have Epictetus. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things, your perception. Oh my goodness, acceptance of suffering. Woo! When encountering physical discomfort today, like muscle pain, observe it without seeking immediate relief. Suffering becomes lighter when we stop resisting it. So you're resisting this truth and you're suffering because of it. I think that's why this card has come out. Like water flowing around rocks, acceptance creates a path through the pain. So once, ooh, I just got really dizzy, y'all. What is that? Whoa. Hold on. That was weird. That was so bizarre. So something here, it's a very powerful energy. I'm telling you, the room just kind of spinned a little bit there. That was bizarre. I'm hoping this works out for you guys because this is a very intense energy that some kind of truth you need to express to yourself and possibly others. I feel like it's vitally important. Okay. All right, Aries, that's the messages I'm getting for you. Another intense reading. Let me know how this resonated with you. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.